Concern keeps growing as cases of COVID-19 are rising.
George Floyd's death.
I've declared a state of emergency.
Businesses have permanently closed.
I don't know about you, but 2020 was not the year I thought it was going to be. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, black or white. If you live on this planet, you've been affected by the pandemic. A lot of us found ourselves wishing it was already 2021, calling this the lost year or the worst year of our life. Everyone's been wishing for the year 2021 as if all our problems will just disappear at midnight on New Year's Eve. Well, sorry to break it to you, but this isn't the last hard season you're gonna have to live through. As human beings, we'll always have to face loss, grief, and crisis. We don't know when, but that's all part of the human experience. This year, we've had the opportunity to teach ourselves how to handle hardship and pain, teach ourselves how to keep going even when we're running on empty. We became stronger, smarter, and more resilient. And now we get to look back on 2020 as the year that we thought would end us, but didn't. 2020 did not happen by accident. 2020 is the reset year. This year gave us 2020 vision for 2020 and beyond. It was the year for reset, restart, reignite, repeat the things you love, recommit, redesign, re-engage. 2020 was that year. I haven't talked about this with anyone in a very long time, and so talking about it, yeah, I'm over it, but like talking about it is just like, wow, like feelings are coming back, like thoughts, and collect myself. Let's just talk about it. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Giselle. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when I post a new video. Happy December, you guys. We've made it to the last month of the year 2020. How insane has this year been? Despite all of the fuckery 2020 has decided to bring us, honestly for me, this year has been life-changing. This has been the most eye-opening year yet. That being said, I've decided to create a little 2020 recap video series talking about all the things that happened to me this year, the important things at least. So this video is part one of my 2020 recap series. This little series, this is not meant for anybody besides myself. This video might not be for you, you might not care, but that's fine because it's not for you, it's literally for me. Yeah, let's just get right into it. I don't want to make this video. So the beginning of this year, I was a completely different person. I was in a completely different mindset. I can't even speak. I was in a completely different mindset. I was in a different headspace. I didn't even know who I was at the beginning of this year. The beginning of 2020, I was fresh out of a breakup. I was heartbroken, I was lost, I was angry and upset and confused. I didn't know what to do with myself. If you've been subscribed to me from the beginning, you guys have probably seen the couple videos that I've made about my breakup, the whole message to my ex, that whole thing. If you guys haven't already seen those videos, I'll just give you a quick little recap. My ex was my first love. My ex, oh my god, I can't even do this. I can't talk about it. Woo! We're not gonna cry. Long story short, my ex was my high school boyfriend. My first love, my first everything. And we got together when we were 17 and we split up literally just last year. At the end of last year. Oh my god, it's been a whole year. Heartbreak anniversary. So we broke up. Whew, goddamn. And being with that person for so long, I didn't know it at the time, but I lost myself in that relationship. So when we broke up, I was lost. I had no idea who I was apart from that person. I literally invested all of myself into this one person thinking they were endgame, and it was the most heartbreaking experience for me. I was a mess. If you care to check out my how to get over a breakup video or a message to my ex video, go check those out. Those videos were made in a time where I was still broken, I was still lost, I was trying to get over the breakup and him and everything. I am more than happy to say that I am not in that headspace anymore. I'm not lost anymore. Getting over that relationship has probably been one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. It took some time. It took a lot of time and work to get over this relationship, but here we are. Here we are. The breakup honestly was a blessing in disguise. It was something that needed to happen for me in my life in order for me to move forward. In the moment, the breakup was like the worst, it was the most devastating thing that I could have gone through, considering my ex's and I's history. But in the moment, I didn't realize how much I needed to separate from this person. The year went on as it did. It was really hard at first. During the first couple months of this year, January, February, a little bit of March, life was still pretty normal. You were still able to go out without a mask. I was still going to the club. I threw a birthday party with my best friend, and this was all pre-lockdown, COVID. Well, not pre-COVID, like the beginning stages of COVID. I was still in school, still working regularly. I was still out living on my own. I was very distracted from dealing with the truth about my breakup and what my reality was. During the beginning of the year, I really didn't address any of the issues that were literally like right in front of me. And then quarantine hit, and I moved back home. I stopped going to school. We were in lockdown. Make sure you guys stay tuned for part 2 of my year in review, because in my next video, we're talking about why I dropped out of school. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you know when part 2 comes out. My day-to-day life of being consumed with school and going out with friends and working, like all of that came to a stop, like just a solid stop. And then I was literally in my parents' house every single day, just me, myself, and I. My thoughts, my feelings, finally addressing the things that I haven't had time to address. One of those things being my breakup. I would wake up literally like crying, like literally just depressed. I did not want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. I was just sad and angry, and I feel like the first step in getting over this breakup was literally feeling those emotions, getting through the angry phase, the sad phase, the I want you back phase. Like I had to go through all of those motions in order to get to where I am right now. Step 1 in getting over a breakup is facing those feelings that are uncomfortable. I was in my sad, angry, confused stage from March, April, May, until about like end of May. End of May, I finally put a wrap on it. I said, okay, Giselle, it's time you move forward. It's time you move on and you just let him go. So at the time, it was like, how the heck do you just stop being sad? How do you get over this person? Like how? Like I don't understand how. The biggest thing was acceptance, looking at your reality for what it really is and not like the skewed version of it in your head. Like I actually had to sit down with myself and look at the entire situation. The day I stopped being sad and angry and having all those negative feelings, that was the day I took full accountability, full responsibility for my own relationship. I realized I was just as much to blame for the end of my relationship, for the reason why things happened the way they did. I had to look at myself. I had to put myself in check, pretty much. Instead of blaming my ex for you did this, you know, like this is why we're not together anymore, you know, you chose to do so and blah, 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 blah. Instead of pointing the finger at my ex, honestly, like I had to point it back at myself and be like, listen, Giselle, you could have done this better in this relationship. You were just as toxic as he was. You did this wrong. You could have been nicer here. Like you could have said this and this and this. I really had to sit back and look at my own faults in the relationship. And once I was able to acknowledge and understand my own faults and my shortcomings and all the things that I did wrong, I was able to come to peace with my situation. I was finally able to understand why we didn't work out. And once I was able to understand why we didn't work out, it was just so much easier to get over the relationship from there. So now not only did I have an understanding as to why my relationship didn't work out, now I could understand and see the things that were not so nice about me at the time. You know, like I could see and recognize all of the ugly parts of me that needed to be worked on and that needed to be fixed. And once I got to that point, I was able to just laser focus on me, myself, and I, and work on those ugly parts of me and work on the things that I wanted to see change within me. Physical, mental, emotional, everything. Through all of that, I was able to do a lot of inner work and face my own demons, my own weaknesses. Given all this free time that quarantine has given me, I had no reason not to invest into myself. The good thing that came out of my sad phase was my creativity. It was during that sad phase where I started my YouTube channel. I started putting things on the internet, not caring about who sees it, what they say, like I just didn't care anymore. I felt like I didn't have anything to lose. I started looking really closely at the way I was living my life, from the things that I was putting into my body, food, water, drinks. I started looking at my mindset, my mentality. I started looking at my physical appearance. I had to reinvent myself, basically. And something that I realized this year that helped me forgive not only my ex, but myself, was understanding that when we got into that relationship, we were 17 years old. When you're 17, you don't know it at the time, but you really don't know who you are. You don't know what you stand for. You don't know how much you want to give or how much you want to take from the other person. Like, you don't know any of that. Taking that into consideration, I loved this person to the best of my abilities at that time, with what I knew at 17. And to be honest, like, that was nothing. I literally knew nothing about myself, about relationships, about how you should treat somebody in a relationship. I didn't know any of that. Like, I had no concept of how to be a good partner. In understanding that I loved him the best that I could at that time and vice versa, I was able to forgive both of us. Like, the person that I am now is completely different than who I was at 17. I then realized that, like, I had to elevate myself. I had to elevate who I was as a person, so that way my next relationship, I can love them to the best of my abilities with who I am now, with the knowledge that I've accumulated to this point. I guess, to make a long story short, the breakup was exactly what I needed in order to find myself again. It was like the kickstart to everything else that's happened for me this year. The breakup was the kickstart to my YouTube channel. It's the kickstart to what made me realize what I want to actually do with my life. It was the kickstart for me to start eating better, to start working out, to start loving myself again. The breakup is literally what changed my year. It was not easy by any means. There were nights where there were nights where I had mental breakdowns, and it was just like an emotional roller coaster. Ups and downs, ups and downs. One day you think you're fine, the next day you're like, boom, okay, mental breakdown, that's cool. I would be fine the whole day, and then I would come home to my bed at night, and then sadness, anger, just tears, I don't even know why. But then there's like the flip side, where it would be like, okay, grind season, grind time, let's go. Let's push ourselves to be the absolute best version of ourselves, so we can say that, like, you know, we are not that same person who we once were in that relationship. Like, that was my goal. My goal was to reinvent myself to be someone that was completely different from who I was in that relationship, because that relationship is dead and gone. So is that version of myself. The old version of myself died with that relationship. I'm so thankful for my family and my friends who've helped me get through this breakup. You know, whether it's just through us hanging out or me being able to talk to you. Thank you. Thank you for being there for me. You know what else? I found that as I started to date other people, you know, I would notice myself going back to old habits, like how I would be in my old relationship. And the minute I started acting like my old self, I fixed up. Like, it was so great to see me in a situation with another person and being able to handle myself differently. And that in itself was like, wow, damn, like, I'm proud of myself. Like, that's growth. Like, I've experienced so much growth mentally and emotionally this year. I can genuinely say that I am a lot more emotionally intelligent. I know how to handle myself in situations. I know how to respond accordingly now. And it's just, I would have never learned that if I didn't go through my breakup. You know, if it wasn't for my breakup, I wouldn't have been able to grow as a person. I wouldn't have been able to realize what I now know about life, about relationships, about myself. Nothing this year would have gone the way it did for me if I didn't go through the breakup. And now that I'm actually over it and I can see it from a different light, I'm so thankful for that relationship. I'm so thankful for the things that I've got to experience with that person. I can look back on my relationship now and be like, damn, We had some good times. A lot of bad times too. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I'm very grateful for the time that I've spent with this person. I'm very grateful for that person and everything that they've done for me, that they've taught me. And genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I wish that person nothing but the best. More love, more happiness, just more blessings for them. Like literally, you guys, it's like the best feeling to just finally just be free and like not give a fuck about things that used to stress you out. Like it's so liberating. Once you get past all the hard shit, it's crazy. It's crazy how much can change in a short period of time. If you're going through a breakup, or if you've been through a breakup, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've been through a breakup this year, you, my friend, are so strong. Getting through a breakup during quarantine was not easy at all. No, hell no, that was hard. That was so hard to go through all of those emotions and all of that while adjusting to the new world and like, and you're still here, you're still standing. I want you to give yourself a round of applause. We both know that took some work. If you're currently going through a breakup, just know it'll get better. If there's anything that I can tell you about getting over a breakup, it's 1, accept the situation, accept it is what it is. 2, forgive yourself, forgive the other person. Take accountability for your actions. Don't just blame the other person as to why things didn't go the way they did. And 3, reinvest all your emotion. Invest into yourself again. Learn to love yourself. Learn who you are now that you're separated from this person. Just focus on you. And I promise you, once you focus on yourself, everything else will just fall into place. Like I always say, you have the power to make the day what you want, so make it what you want it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. I never want to make a video about this again. Oh my god.